Hello. As I was thinking about making this video, I realized that I have not introduced myself or my channel or said what it's about. My name is Katie, and this is Stories and Stones, where I like to talk about paranormal stuff, weird history, famous hauntings and things like that, exploring some cemeteries when it's not scorching hot, and like true crime, but really old true crime, like old, like 100 years ago true crime, and just creepy mysteries and stuff from around the world. So if you like that kind of thing, please like and subscribe. So today, first of all, I'm not a ghost. I just got home from work and I'm tired and my makeup is worn off, so please, I'm sorry if I scared anyone. I said in my last video that my next video would be about the debunking of some Victorian era spirit mediums, and I lied. I started reading about that and I decided I didn't want to read about that more than I already read about it for my last video. So I wanted to do something different, and since it is spooky season, I thought we would take a look at what the internet is telling me are haunted roads and bridges. This is just a few of them. If y'all like it, I'll find some more. And I don't live near any of the places on this list, so we are gonna use Google Earth and take a little road trip and check out these spooky places. And I will tell you the stories behind them according to the internet that are the reason that they are haunted. So we're gonna start off strong, heading to Florida. And the story here is that on a certain section of Interstate 4, it was constructed over a mass grave of yellow fever victims, and I guess the last rites were not performed for their final resting place, so they're restless, and also to add to that, a highway was built over them. Now, so the angry ghosts, I guess, haunt the highway, and the things they do is, oh, by the way, I left out this part. This was an 1887 situation, and since then the highway was built over them. I don't know if they didn't know they were there or they just didn't care. But anyway, that's the story. There have been 2,000 accidents in this area since 1963. I don't know if that's a lot. I don't know if that's an average. That's what, I found out. So that's been going on, and drivers report losing cell phone service in the area and disembodied voices coming from their phones, or their radios would cut out and suddenly the song would change to like creepy laughing. From what you can see here, now, I don't know what specific section of Interstate 4 this buried mass grave is supposedly at, but a lot of it is kind of wilderness, it looks like, so maybe that's why their phones cut out, because you're just in a swamp. There are cities nearby, but it is kind of out there. Squeaky Chair is here with me, as you can hear. So, trying to find this specific area, I, dropped myself into Street View, a couple different places. I really don't know where it's supposed to be. It's around here somewhere. And this goes, obviously, this is an inhabited area, but it also said it was near this lake, near St. John's River, which is a river, not a lake. I'm tired. But Interstate 4 isn't next to St. John's River, so it's somewhere in here. It's somewhere on this highway. I mean, maybe if, being in Florida isn't spooky enough for you, you can, if you go down this highway, you can think about these cholera victims who are haunting the highway. And you know, there's some spooky traffic, a lot of scary spooky traffic. But yeah, like the sections of this Interstate 4 are a lot of trees and wilderness, and then sections like here, there's a lot of traffic and people, so who knows what's going on there. I did find a good like Google Earth, what do you call it, sphere with a good view of a river, and which I think is the river, no, that's Lake Monroe. It is Lake Monroe, not the lake we're looking for. But there are, you could see from this lookout area, you could see out over it, and I mean, there's nothing that stands out as spooky looking. I mean, who knows what's in those swamps. Florida man, that's where Florida man builds his nest. So, probably all kinds of scary stuff. Anyway, let's get the hell out of Florida and go to Indiana. Alright, so in Indiana, we are going to the very small town of Avon. And it's near White Lick Creek. Why they gave me that creek as a waypoint, like I would go, oh, never heard of Avon, but oh yeah, everybody knows White Lick Creek. Weird name. Anyway, so, but that gave me some points to look at on Google Earth where like, okay, it's generally in this area. You know, they don't give you coordinates. They're just like, it's in this area. And then I try to find it because I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. The Avon Bridge was built in 1906 or 1907, unclear, and it was constructed by Irish immigrants. According to legend, these workers were crossing a temporary walkway that had been set up so they could get to different areas of the bridge in process to work on it, and one of them slipped, wow, one of them slipped and fell into the wet concrete below him, which pretty much acted like quicksand as it slowly sucked him in. And people say going over this bridge that, as you can see, I'm trying to find the bridge. I'm trying to find the bridge in my search. That bridge didn't look quite spooky, right? So I'm like, I know this bridge is around here somewhere. I'm following the creek, trying to find out if I'm at the right bridge. And people going over the bridge now will say, oh, they can hear this worker that fell screaming and crying as he was sinking into the concrete. You know, they hear the ghostly cries from the past. So White Lake Creek is a really long creek, so maybe it's fair that they thought I would have heard of it, but I haven't. I need the bridge. The scary, spooky bridge. Where's the scary... Oh, it's probably this one labeled Haunted Bridge. Yeah, that's probably the one. I like that they labeled it. I wish they did that all over Google Earth. Like, haunted this, haunted that. Great, perfect, thank you. Maybe I need to do that. Start a campaign where I travel the country and do photospheres at haunted places and label them that way so people who are looking will know, oh yeah, it's the Haunted Bridge. Thank you, Katie. Anyway, let's check out this bridge. Oh, spooky! Okay, you know what? That is kind of a creepy bridge. We got some creepy construction, and that is a creepy bridge. Honestly, it looks really out of place. Plop down in Indiana. Huh. Okay. That's a creepy bridge, and it's clearly concrete. So that lends some validity to the story. It looks like it was slapped together angrily, or it's just like crumbling and falling apart. I don't know. I like it though. I like the creepy bridge. Alright. So it's time to go to Texas. We are going to check out a ghost town called Bragg. And apparently there's no buildings left of the ghost town. It's just like empty land, or probably overgrown land, and a haunted dirt road that apparently ran through this town when it existed. There's Bragg Road, there's Old Bragg Road. They both look kind of creepy. There's really nothing around. So the town of Bragg was abandoned in the 1940s, and after that, people would report a ghostly light emanating from above the forest. And I'm like, was it the moon? Was it the moon that they saw? But having like a ghostly light floating that no matter how close you try to get to it, it disappears, is really common. There's one here about 20 miles from me. Well, there was. They built a subdivision, so where people used to go look at the creepy light, and I did go see it. And it was there. I mean, who knows what it was coming from or whatever. But, and now they built a whole subdivision, so you can't even really go down that road to it anymore because it's just houses. Bummer. But, so that is our creepy haunted dirt road. And other stories could be something that the light was produced by the ghosts of railroad workers or hikers who died in the old ghost town. But I mean, why would they be hikers? Maybe they mean like traveling people who just happened to pass through and died there? Not enough information. I think we can just make up our own story about what this haunted light is. And I'm going to say it's aliens. Alright, so next we are going to Massachusetts. If you're from Massachusetts, I'm sorry, I'm about to pronounce the name of this town wrong. Rehoboth. Rehoboth? Rehoboth. Rehoboth. I don't know. Anyway, in this town in Massachusetts, on Route 44, no specifics, just Route 44 in general, and there is a ghost that haunts this road. I'm surprised it's just one, but that's what I found. Oh, by the way, this information that I'm using for this video is coming from Ranker.com, who was quite vague about most of the stories, probably because they're just legends, urban legends and such, but still, make something up. You know, be creative. So the ghost is your typical hitchhiker ghost. You know, people are driving alone, they see a hitchhiker, for some reason they stop and pick him up. Do not do that. And the ghost will like laugh at them or taunt them or yell at them and then disappears. So it's your typical hitchhiker ghost. You go to let him in, he either, you know, rides all the way with you and then disappears, or he just disappears when you stop. So don't pick up hitchhikers because they might be ghosts. I mean, if you're lucky, all they are is ghosts. Would you pick up, if you saw a hitchhiker and you knew it was a ghost, would you go ahead and pick it up? Him or her? Would you be like, oh yeah, I want to say I gave a ride to a ghost? Maybe. I don't know. But, so, ew, that's the spookiest thing we're going to see on this road is that dead end sign. So, sorry. It just looks like a typical road. I really like the color changing foliage. We don't have that here, except when stuff dies in winter, but I really miss that foliage that changes color. Very pretty. Alright, so next we are going to Nebraska. We are going to right outside Nebraska City, and there's a road called Seven Sisters Road. And then I did look this up separately from the Ranker article, and it said that another article I found that was, I believe, a more local article said that the name of the road was changed to L Road. But then, on Google Earth, I see that there is a Seven Sisters Road. So that road does still exist, but it also says this L Road is a dirt road. So maybe it comes off that road, found it coming off that road, kinda, basically, but you couldn't go down L Road because it was not, the Google car didn't go down there. Anyway, it's supposed to be haunted by a group of 7 women who are sisters, and the story goes in the early 1900s, their one brother decided to unalive them all and hung them from trees. And if you drive down it at night, I think this might be the L Road. It is a dirt road, right? Is that a dirt road? Yeah, that's a dirt road. That might be it. I can't read the sign. But people have heard ghostly screams of women. Their cars will stall out. And they hear bells from an old cemetery. What bells? Maybe they mean like a chapel in the cemetery had a bell. Anyway, but they can't find this old cemetery or old chapel. And this is important. I don't know if it's related or not, but there's a red-eyed figure that will stalk you down the road. I don't know what that has to do with the Seven Sisters legend, but okay. So now we journey to Pennsylvania, to Gettysburg. Never been there, believe it or not. I've driven through Pennsylvania plenty, but never really been to Gettysburg. This bridge is called the Sachs Covered Bridge. It was built in 1852, and it was once a hub for Civil War soldiers fighting in the 1863 battle at Gettysburg. I don't know if it was like they hung out on the bridge, they guarded the bridge, vague, unclear. It's supposedly haunted by these Civil War soldiers. Around 50,000 soldiers lost their lives there. And witnesses have claimed to see ghosts of 3 Confederate deserters, and they hung from the rafters of the covered bridge. So they deserted and still ended up getting hung from this very pretty little bridge. Others have seen the floating heads of soldiers and full body apparitions of different soldiers walking along the bridge. Locals do refer to another spirit. Oh, there's Nana. Hold on. It's always weird when you come across people on Google Earth. We got Nana walking there. Oh, Nana, don't go toward the light. Go back. Locals talk about a spirit called the Smoking Ghost, and Nana made it out. Good. It's such a pretty bridge. I'm getting so distracted by this scenery. The Smoking Ghost can be summoned if you leave a lit cigarette on a railing. You can also summon the fire department if you leave a lit cigarette on a railing of a wooden bridge. So don't do that. Next, we're going across the pond to England, to the Fye Street Bridge. This is in Norwich, England, and apparently in the 1600s there were some witch trials here, and the women that were accused, they would dunk them into the water, and the thought was, well, witches can fly, so if they're a witch, they'll fly up out of the water, and if they're not a witch, they'll drown. Now, both of these things had the same result, and that's dead, innocent women. But apparently this is where it took place. And, the town certainly looks old enough for that. Let's take some street view stuff and check it out. Alright. Anyway, the witnesses claim that they've seen that some of these accused witches still wander around, and she carries a bundle of wood for the fire that burned her and wears rags as she stumbles toward her final resting place. Some claim that she'll drop this bundle of wood and ask for help, and those who stop to help her will die a fiery death within 6 months. Which is really unfair because you were just trying to be nice. I don't know. This is a really cool town. Oh, the mischief. I really like the vibes of this place. This is pretty awesome. I love the medieval vibes. I want to check this one out some more. I don't know if it's you can drive across the bridge because it looks like the Google Earth card didn't go all the way across. Something? I don't know. I love these buildings. I love these roads. Oh, pub and paddle. Sounds like a good time. Oh, look at that bridge. That looks 1600s maybe. I mean, I'm sure it's been repaired over time. I wonder what's down there in that canal or the river. Probably all kinds of treasures. And is that a cemetery? What is that? Oh. Anyway, very cool looking town. And now comes the try not to laugh challenge part of this video, because we're going to Chunky, Mississippi. No, that's the name of the town. The name is Chunky. We're going to check out Stuckeys Bridge in Chunky, Mississippi. And there's your Chunky River, yeah, Chunky, oh, what's over there? What's over there? Chunky Church? Oh, the Chunky Baptist Church. I have failed the challenge. So Stuckeys Bridge is supposedly haunted by the spirit of a serial killer, and the story goes that there was this gang in the 1800s called the Dalton Gang. They robbed banks, they robbed trains, they robbed stagecoaches, and they left behind a member in this town known as Stuckey. Stuckey, oh, here's the bridge. Oh, wow. That is a creepy bridge. Oh my gosh. Do people drive across this bridge? Because, no, you should not. Ooh, that is a chunky looking river. Yeah. That's a creepy bridge. Stuckey, this guy named Stuckey apparently opened an inn near the Chunky River and would lure in guests and wait for them to sleep and then kill them and hide the bodies near a bridge that crossed the Chunky River. River. And apparently that's the bridge. Stuckey was hung from the bridge as punishment for more than 20 murders that he allegedly committed. And after 5 days of hanging, they dropped his body down into the water. I assume he killed the people to get their money and, valuables. So apparently they've seen the apparition of Stuckey hanging from the bridge and have heard his splash into the water. People say they've been shoved off the bridge by Stuckey's ghost. And I don't know. I don't think you should walk over that bridge. That bridge did not look stable. It did not look stable. It didn't look chunky enough to support the weight of anyone. I'd be really surprised, but not kind of surprised if they actually let people drive over it. So next we're going to Vermont. Okay, back in New England to check out Goldbrook Covered Bridge. Alright, it is in Stowe, Vermont, and has been there since the 1800s. And you can't drive over it anymore, but you can walk through it, I believe. Or can you drive through it? I can't really tell. It might just be like it's so old they don't let you drive your car on it. So the story goes, a local woman named Emily was the daughter of a poor family and fell in love with a wealthy man's son. Against his family's wishes, the two decided to elope and agreed to meet on this bridge. When Emily arrived at the bridge, her intended fiance wasn't there, and when he just didn't show up, she unalived herself, which is what I have to say for YouTube, by hanging from the bridge rafters. There's another version that says Emily starts searching for her fiance when he didn't show up, and she turned her horse and carriage onto the bridge. I guess in this one she has a horse and carriage, and she crashed the carriage, unaliving herself and her horse. So I guess there's no reports of the horse ghost, but there should be. So let's say Emily and her horse haunt this bridge. And witnesses have reported Emily hearing a woman's voice screaming on the bridge, scratching vehicles. People that pass her, they'll get scratches. Some have photographed weird things at the bridge, like orbs and blurred figures. And, it's the usual electronic malfunctions and batteries drain. Their usual ghostly stuff. And, of course, I would like to add that they hear the distant whinnying of a horse and then a splash. That's all I have for today. The next video, I should at least be more awake, because it is impossible for me to be more half asleep than I am right now. So, this is beautiful. I really like the scenery. I want to go here and see this little creek under this pretty bridge. I like it. It looks like a desktop background, doesn't it? Oh, very pretty. Oh, what is that? We got a rainbow. Oh, that's lovely. So, if you've been to any of these places, and you've had an experience or not had one and want to tell me about it in the comments, that'd be great. Or other haunted roads, bridges, places you think I should go on Google Earth and take a tour of. All right, y'all be good.